All right at the middle of this fight. First blood will fall, and Ike picks it up. They'll get the kill on towards the Ionic as well now. And Kull and Jackson have to try and retreat away. Paige was the one to get the level 2 to pick up that relic, get the regen. And Ike and Jackson will be able to get themselves away from the fight.
They will. I like that they haven't really changed what they went with the last game. They've gone with exactly the same comp this time around. They know it worked for them. Why fix what ain't broken? The other side for them. Same kind of story actually for both teams here. So probably actually RawR fancying their chances of being able to pull out exactly the same story and do the same thing as last time around and hopefully bring themselves back into it instead of leaving this at a 1-0 turning into a 2-0 of course the grand finals. Everyone loves it when it goes down to the last game because you get that last little bit of, I suppose, hype around it in a sense, but we'll see how that one pans out so far. Pressure already being exerted really heavily in the bot lane here actually.
Yeah. KK didn't get the level 2 quite as quickly as Netzy, so Netzy able to use that ranged harass that he has just to push him back on the Jackson. However, it's not the end of the world for KK on the Jackson. Just needs to be a little bit cautious. Netzy actually tagged up a tower shot there, so a little bit of free damage going over on towards the D-Rock. And this is the reason you pick a ranged hero a ranged legend in towards that melee legend. You know, you're able to do so much harass from a long range. Without having to worry about that melee legend getting up and actually doing any counter damage to you. Absolutely,
yeah, some good pressure being exerted across the whole map really here as well. Deathstory making really good use of the camps as well, trying to push in and farm them out as best we can. We see this little death brush setup happen so many times here throughout pretty much all evening, especially I remember Win doing it quite a lot earlier on when he was playing Owen support. Quite a popular tactic when you feel you have the lane advantage.
Oh, definitely, and it can work out pretty well for you. You know, it's especially when you're able to catch someone out who just face checks. The team isn't able to join them quite as quickly. Ionic will actually get the power relic there. Here comes Netzy on the D-Rock, though. Will be able to pick up the first kill on towards that Ionic. Death trying to chase them off towards the bottom side. Aki not able to join him up. Jackson does join the fray. Will pick up one. Not going to be able to get himself away though. So it is a 2-for-1 trade in favor of RawR.
Absolutely is, and they're just looking quite, I suppose, quite resilient in terms of how well they're holding these points up here. They're pushing quite aggressively. They get there, and they don't then give the ground in terms of thinking, might push a bit too far here. They push up, they hold it, and they're doing a really good job of doing exactly that so far. Kill score, of course, only still 3-2 to their side, so nothing definitive yet, but it is looking really good for them here in Game 2.
That it is. Paige, of course, scales incredibly well, but we have seen Jace, or JC, I think it's Jace. I want to say Jace because that feels less clunky to me, but we'll go with Jace. We've seen this Ionic do really good work late game. D-Rook's actually going to take a lot of pain here from KK on the Jackson, and this is the start of a point where you need to be worried when you're playing as Netzy. You know, you have to be a little bit worried about melee, because if they can get a couple of items underneath their belt, they can actually start doing a lot of work. What were you excited about? Nothing happened.
I thought for a second we were going to see him getting caught out on the Jackson, but he just managed to make a quick escape and, well, didn't get caught out, obviously. Just
it's JC, apparently. It's what Smoggy tells me in chat.
He's telling me, actually, mate, not you.
Well, yeah, but...
Just, can you just keep your ears in your own conversation?
I'll check my privilege of getting pronunciation right.
Privacy invader.
Check my privacy. So yeah, pretty even start from both these two teams. Not a huge amount going on at the moment. We are going to see Netzy take some pain once again from KK. And that's a very dead D-Rock.
It is 3-3, 4 minutes in. Only a minute left until we see the spawn, of course. Which one that'll be, we'll find out when we get there. And I imagine we won't see the teams try and fight for it immediately. But already that's a good tower going down there. So good start. Good pressure being put down. Question is, can they translate that into bringing a win back here? Because actually, using that first tower, they look like the ones who are pushing in here and actually having the advantage. It's just not sticking for them in the long run.
It's a difficult one because it's about fighting around when you're strong as a team. Paige scales really well late game. D-Rock has some power early game in that melee matchup. We're going to see, look at the damage coming down. It's a brutality as Death picks up the kill. Cinderwrath there as well. Paige going to put a huge amount of pain onto JC. KK does come in for the counter kill onto Cruel. Here comes D-Rock, going to try and dance his way underneath the turret. Does get in and out. And KK not able to clean up either of these last two kills. Will be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of RawR.
Yeah, we're all looking pretty good so far here, as well as again trying to get this Page scaled up into the late game where she can make a real impact. I do like getting caught actually, just about managed to sit on top of that. It's going to be the Fire Giant spawning here as the first boss. You want to keep an eye on that in the next 2 or 3 minutes to see which one these teams go for. It hasn't been as bloody a game as what we've seen in the past, actually. I say that as Death gets caught out here potentially, but isn't going to end up falling down this one. KK gets the first kill of this fight, goes on to a killing spree, and in fact Page has to run back and flee to the safe haven of the tower.
It's back and forth. Like every time it's a 2-for-1 or a 2-for-0, and now we start to see Initials take the lead in the fight. They already picked up that bottom side tower, looking up towards the top side as well, seeing if they can take this one down. Not going to connect there from D-Rock, wasn't able to get the ultimate down. We'll get onto Yonick though. He has to use that teleport to get himself away. Page is looking for the chase. I don't think Death's going to be able to pick up anything here, but we'll be able to force Ike back.
It will, yeah. It's really good damage there when you get the auto and then the wave and then another auto combo down. Just works out really well in terms of getting some quick burst damage down and being able to establish some more dominance, I feel, here. In fact, they're going to get that guard tower coming down now. Again, very, very good for that control.
They also got a kill in the bot lane. Sin of Wrath actually able to pick up the kill straight onto JC on that Yonick. Not able to keep himself anywhere near as far back as he'd like.
Whoopsie daisy. Death actually pulling in the aggro of the Fire Giant there, which isn't really the best thing to be doing right now. In fact, all 3 members here quite low, but it will be Death who falls down there. Ike taking up that kill, goes on Brutality. 7-6 now the score.
Yeah, good play there from the side of Initials to pick up the kill. However, they do need to be careful because Netzy on this Duroc is in a good position at the moment. You know, he's sitting on... he's got a few kills. He's got enough kills to be okay. He's got 2 kills. He's picked up that Rainbow Blade as well, so got a lot of damage underneath his belts. JC might be caught out. Duroc and Sin of Wrath are waiting for him. Are spotted out by those minions though, so not going to be as sneaky as perhaps they thought they were being.
They might actually start seeing the first kind of group up for a proper fight here, potentially. Actually, looks like the guard tower. Big ult comes through, knocks off all 3 members here. They're going to sit straight on top of them and try and do back. The equal knock comes back on the other side, catching all 3 members. But Netzy gets on the Terminator there, brings the one down. JC picks up a kill for himself as well. And in fact, look at Death there, almost going massive. But it's actually going to, turns out it's going to be the other way around as they go 2 for 2 in that fight. Very, very good, very, very frantic, all over a tower.
Yeah, I was so close there. I mean, all that happened really was Netzy was able to get the final snipe down, meaning that it did become a 2 for 2, as you say. Otherwise, it would have been a good trade on this side of Initials. They will get the power on towards JC, and Sin of Wrath now needs to be a bit cautious, has to teleport away. There's no turret there, of course. Well, there is one up there. I thought it had gone down, but no turret there for one of the teams, we'll say. Yeah, there it is. I knew one of them had fallen. Initials lost their turret earlier on.
Yeah.
So they have lost 2 turrets for the moment. Yonick's still looking to see if he can get this one down, but Page with good wave clear makes it very difficult for you actually to pressure on towards these turrets at all.
Yeah, and Page just gets scarier the later the game goes on. That wave clear only grows in potential as they keep going through. All about catching her out, as they may have done here, actually.
Massive fight coming in. Cool just jumps into the enemy team, picks up 2 kills straight away. So difficult to fight up into, and now we're going to see what Netzy can do on this Duroc when he's been stunned up. He can't do much. KK will take him down. 12 kills to 8 now in favour of Initials, and they've come right back into this game. They
have, yeah. 12 and 8, looking pretty good for them, like you say. Potentially can bring this one up to a 1-on-1 in the series, and I had question marks.
It would be 2-0, wouldn't it?
Which way around it go? They switched sides.
Netzy lost, yeah, they've switched sides.
Of course, no, you're right, you're correct. Yeah,
it'd be 2-0 to Initials, man. Initials won the first game.
Okay?
It is, it's past midnight here, guys.
Yeah, I've got my trusty energy drink to keep me going. It's clearly not working.
No, well, you have energy, you just don't have the mental fortitude.
Mental capacity to utilise the energy.
Mental facilities? Faculties is the word I was looking for.
Mental faculties.
Yeah, you've got sort of, you know, different faculties in your brain. You've got your professor of mental maths, your archduke of literacy. I'm going to see a fight here. Cool, does get the knock up on towards the Yonick. He's going to jump on towards that backline. Duroc's doing a lot of work. Netzy trying to clean it through the kills. Gets 1, gets 2. And now we're going to have to see what JC can do on this Yonick. Page catches him out. He picks up 1, but the Page melts through him. Does exchange 2 kills for the 3 for the team kill. But Death, able to live up to his name, terminates Yonick and won't take him down.
The ult for Page there just doing work. Normally see it channeled in the middle of a team fight where you can hit several members with it, but in that case just didn't need to. Knew that there wasn't really anywhere for Yonick to run to, so thought why not? Pops it down and picked up that final kill. Does bring it to 14-11. Still looking pretty tough for RawR here for them to try and find a way back into it, but crazier things have happened.
Oh, definitely. All it takes is one good team fight, and it's 14 all. You're right back into the action. However, we have got that fire elemental, fire giant on the board for one of these two teams. Can, of course, take that one down if they want. Neither team really hitting big item spikes. You know, we've got 6 completed items actually sitting on towards JC, who is doing quite a bit of work. That Page getting to a good position as well, but we'll get knocked up by the cool. Here comes Sinnovath jumping in as well. Page needs to try and position herself, but not the best ultimate in the world. And yet JC has so much time just to wail away. Wow. Pick up 4 kills in exchange for 1. That Page ultimate really mispositioned off towards totally the wrong side of the fight.
Quick question again, what timestamp are you at?
I'm at 10:51.
Okay, about 3 seconds ahead.
It's because I've been switching a bit, probably.
This is the issue, yeah. Have to switch as we switch. We'll get there.
We will. 3 kills away. Question is, can Initials get over the finishing line? We're going to see a new North American champion of the Go4 MOBA Cup crowned today. Will it be Initials, or will we see RawR being able to shout their way back in towards this game?
Absolutely, yeah. Final chance for them really here. 11.5 minutes. Actually one of the longer games we've seen this evening. Instantly in goes Ike here. Gets a great knock up onto one, and already they've managed to pick off the enemy Cull here, who's left entirely on his own. Not looking too good for them now. Only 2 kills left to go. Death is just having to sit here and hide away as best he can. Already found his teammate going back to base. It's looking really tough for them right here. Backs up against the wall. And they will, by the looks of it, looking to do off this fire giant, which will get picked up. And surely, Sona, that spells the end of this series.
Well, you have to think so. It has been given over towards the Yonick. Page doing a huge amount of work with the ultimate, but they get round towards the back of her and will take her down. Netzy trying to clean up kills here, but will fall. And it will be Initials taking it 2-0 over RawR in the grand finals of the 4th Go4 MOBA Legends NA Cup.
Well, you kind of have to think there's an elementary rule to any MOBA you play, and that is don't go into a fight like that 1v3. It was a good effort from Death, got off a good ult and did bring them all down to around about a 3rd HP. But it's just not enough when you don't have your teammates around you to follow up on. You find yourself getting CC'd and picked off, as we saw there. And although I think the game was still a very, very difficult one to win in the end of things, they were still 18-12, I think it was. It was never going to work out too well for them. So it was a nice effort, but ultimately it looks like it is going to be arguably the better team winning out in this final here. 2-0, clean sweep, well played to the boys in blue.
Yeah, really well played to Initials. They will take the win, and they will take their prize, winning the 4th Go4 MOBA Legends North American Cup. With it, of course, comes that $225 prize. And 2nd place will get the $50 of in-game cards each as well, along with 3rd and 4th. So, Second Chance Gaming not losing out completely, getting its 3rd and 4th spots. We'll be back next week with more Go4 MOBA Legends North American Cup, so it'll be the 5th one. I'm not sure who's commentating on it next week, but I'm sure it will be some interesting games and some exciting action. Look forward to seeing if Second Chance Gaming can get back into it, or if perhaps their reign of terror has ended at the top. I have been Sona. I've been joined by the wonderful, magnanimous Desertu. Guys, thank you very much for watching. We'll be back next week.